Caitlin Clark was just named Time's 2024 Athlete of the Year, and she gave her most vulnerable interview yet, even commenting on some of the most controversial issues surrounding her this year.
After Caitlin Clark delivered truth bombs that revealed every issue with the WNBA, the league is in complete breakdown mode. In her most recent interview, Caitlin, who is known for speaking up only when it really matters, didn't hold back when discussing the absurd injustice she has experienced from the league's flagrant disregard to the unrestrained roughness on the court.
I did it here that it was so much harder going to the WNBA, but also that she was able to rise to the occasion and become.
Despite the violence and chaos, Caitlin remained resilient, not for the WNBA, but for her supporters who have faith in her and the sport's future. She is the reason people bother to watch, demonstrating that women's basketball can be thrillingly competitive and worthwhile.
Players of the WNBA can't fucking stand her. Why? Because she's white. It's abject, absolute racism.
The WNBA is currently in disarray as a result of its inability to deal with her bravery or integrity. In addition to speaking her truth, Caitlin set the entire story on fire, and the league is still burning as a result.
Cheryl Swoops and others who were clearly distant and dismissive of her, no matter how much they try to deny it, there was resentment towards her, and here's why I said it was.
To be honest, I didn't think the WNBA could have fallen to such a low point. Caitlin Clark is a true novice. The woman changed history in her first year, and what does she get in return? A front-row seat to the WNBA's masterclass on how to fumble greatness. The Phenom record-smashing machine and walking highlight reel just revealed the league for what it really is, a circus of incompetence posing as professional basketball.
Still fell victim to being in the middle of all of these controversies, so the fact that she saw some of that and she feels that way kind of.
Let's talk about the numbers, because Caitlin Clark isn't just good, she's legendary. She broke 6 rookie records, 4 franchise records, and 19 assists in a single game, completely shattering the league's previous record. She was also unofficially named Time Magazine's 2024 Athlete of the Year. But let's treat her like any other player in the lineup, because that's apparently how the WNBA operates.
2-time league champion and now 3-time WNBA MVP told the Associated Press she thought Clark's race was a huge contributor to her popularity. It doesn't matter what we all do as Black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because
Let me paint you a picture of Caitlin's jaw-dropping Time Magazine interview, where she finally opened up about the __ she's been dealing with. It's as if the WNBA is allergic to success, rather than defending and promoting its rising stars. They are out here giving them target practice jerseys and wishing them luck. The Olympics ignore unrestrained physical aggression on the court, and a league that seems to thrive on media chaos rather than actual basketball.
I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of these players in the league that have been really good have been Black players. This league is kind of built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think that's important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate Black women, that's going to be a beautiful.
First, let's discuss the physicality. One particularly memorable occasion of Caitlin's first season at the Hunger Games was during a match against the Chicago Sky, when Chendi Carter not only shoved her, but also used the B word. What did the league do about this obvious aggression? Nothing at all. No penalties, no suspensions, just a pat on the back for Carter. It appears that the WNBA believes that this is WWE, where fans buy tickets through drama and aggression.
22 plus years, they had been flying commercial. They were begging for chartered flights. She arrives there, and 2 weeks later, they got chartered flights.
Oh, but hold on. Things will improve. Can you imagine this happening in the NBA? If someone poked Stephen Curry in the eye, the league would have called in the National Guard. But in the WNBA, it's just another Tuesday. Caitlin gets poked in the eye and is visibly shaken. The NBA's response is crickets. The players' union leaps to Carrington's defense, and the media makes it into a drama. Caitlyn has to intervene to calm things down.
Rising tide lifts all boats. She's trying to be the rising tide that lifts the boats.
And the icing on the cake, the WNBA somehow decided it was a good idea to prioritize legacy players like Diana Taurasi over one of the most dynamic talents the league has ever seen. Let's call this pure politics. On Sunday, the Olympic team rejected Caitlin Clark, who broke 64 records in her rookie season from the Paris 2025 roster 64. Caitlyn excelled and outscored, but it seems that being too good is now a disadvantage.
She does very well, and she wins games, and she puts butts in the seats, and she sells tickets, and she gets people tuning in on television. And all really we want to hear from anybody about this is thank you. Thank you to Caitlin Clark for making our league relevant and so on. But instead, she's been bullied repeatedly by the players in this league. She's been assaulted physically. She's been scratched in the eye. And I mean, all this is on camera. We've covered it.
The justification for her omission, they'll tell you it's about team dynamics or experience. But let's not fool ourselves. This was about keeping the old guard, the so-called legends who haven't done anything new since flip phones existed. Meanwhile, Caitlyn is out there changing the game. But let's keep her on the sidelines and wonder why people aren't paying attention. What's really annoying is how gracefully Caitlyn handles all of this. She's not requesting handouts or a free pass to the Olympics. She just wants to be judged on her talent, something the WNBA would seem incapable of doing if it were the NBA. Although Caitlyn would already be the league's face, she is just another name to be mishandled in the WNBA.
Dramatically and instantaneously improved the conditions. Attendance is still lagging. WNBA is still losing money compared to what you would hope it would earn, but clearly things are on an upward trending trajectory. It's improving, and she has...
In her most recent masterclass on Speaking Truth, Caitlin Clark took aim at the media for their blatant hypocrisy, calling out unqualified opinions left and right. And let's face it, they deserve it. She wasn't holding back when she said, "Most of these people haven't even watched half a game burn." And she wasn't wrong. How often do we see bloggers or TikTok analysts with no real knowledge of the WNBA running their mouths for clicks? The WNBA may enjoy the attention, but in the long run, this ignorant chatter just hurts the sport.
Handful of the folks, primarily the white folks, who basically disenfranchised y'all all of these years before she came along, who denied you the acclaim and the allure and the profits you richly deserved. But you don't take that out on Caitlin Clark. Not her.
The bargain. The media's strategy is to turn any small detail into a story that will make headlines. But if you're going to critique, at least know the fundamentals. Tyrese Halliburton trips over the crickets in his shoelaces. After the Carrington eye poke incident, Brennan's line of questioning wasn't just tone deaf. It was so embarrassing that the WNBA Players Union had to intervene and tell her to calm down. Caitlin Clark gets shoved or caught in some mild drama, which prompted the media to take notice. According to Clark, the queries were unwarranted and improper, which is the polite way of asking, "What were you even thinking?"
NBA draft, games on ABC, ESPN, television ratings. She's directly responsible. And people were resenting her for it, like she was the cause of the problems that they had for the lack of recognition. No, she just happened to be born.
Nevertheless, Caitlyn handled everything with more poise than either Brennan or the WNBA merited. Even while Brennan made a clear effort to trick John Carrington into saying anything controversial, Caitlyn maintained a refined look. If the league had any sense, they would be taking notes instead of allowing the media to weaponize narratives about racism, gender, and sports for cheap clicks. This woman's restraint in the face of mayhem is nothing short of saintly. Instead of concentrating on Caitlyn's incredible debut season, why not capitalize on some fabricated controversy?
Bench. She said, "I don't even know if she really knew what happened. Honestly, I don't think she was cheering because somebody hit me. I really don't think that would be..."
The WNBA will allow stories about its players to turn into politically charged dumpster fires rather than taking control of the conversation. Instead, they allow the media to turn their league into a tabloid sideshow. And who pays the price? The NBA isn't perfect, but at least they don't allow this kind of nonsense to flow. For example, if Draymond Green is called out for being physical, It's about the game and not some underlying social issue. Players that deserve better, like Caitlin Clark.
Even like political outlets that were taking some of these videos and trying to comment on them or share their opinions on them. And some of these political news people don't know a thing about sports. So just honestly, to me, it was comical sometimes seeing some of these political pundits like trying to commentate a game. It was bad. It was all bad. So I get what she's saying in that.
However, Caitlin isn't waiting for the WNBA to straighten itself. She's too intelligent for that. While other players jumped on board, Caitlin turned down the new unmatched league, saying, "No, I'm good. Why waste time on a startup?" This off-season is all about improving her game translation. She's about to make the WNBA regret every foolish move they've ever made. In the meantime, her partnership with new coach Stephanie White is already paying off in comparison to last season's train wreck under Christie Sides. The league may not even survive its first year, so she's concentrating on herself by hitting the gym, lifting heavier than ever, and honing her craft. This is a welcome change of pace. Although Caitlin didn't specifically criticize Sides, it's understandable why Sides were fired when she claimed that